Hello and welcome to Wine Library TV. I'm Captain M.
And I'm Concepcion, tasting wine and saying hello from the Republic of Panama.
And now let's welcome our host, Mr. Gary Vay-ner-chuks.
Hello everybody and welcome to Wine Library TV. I'm your host, Gary Vay-ner-chuks. Concepcion, Captain M, thank you for the wonderful intro from Panama. Wine Library TV is global. Speaking of global, I went fishing yesterday. And I went with my dad and Bobby and Jeff, and we had a great time. And my dad caught the biggest fish. He told me that I had to say that today. So he did. He usually does. He's a good fisherman. So good job, Pops. Sunday, Jets 24, Browns 23. I'm very, 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 very worried about this game. We need this really bad for the miracle season to continue. Other than that, the bulletin board is on fire. If you have not joined the bulletin board yet, you have to. It is unbelievable the amount of information and interesting topics that are brewing there. It's pretty much scary to me because I'm worried that the only 19 minutes of free time I have now might have just gone away. Also, Ask Wine Library TV, new feature that we talked about the other day. Already like 20 questions in there, a lot of people helping each other out. That's what it's all about. It's really, really rad. Also, I have 3 questions today, but I want to make sure that you know in the comment section under each episode, which the new rule, you're just going to talk about the episode itself or things around the episode. Please feel free to ask me questions that I will answer on the show. So if you need a quick answer or looking for a lot of answers, you can use the ask. But if you want me to specifically do it on the show, you can still put it in there. You can put it in both places. You can do whatever you want. You can ask Google, Yahoo, Dogpile. All right. I'm in a very, obviously, interesting mood. Great Friday, really excited. Doing a Vay-ner-chuks choice today. Just have 3 wines that I personally wanted to taste. I have not had any of the 3, so I'm excited about that. And we're going to rock and roll with them. So, let's rock and roll. The first wine right here is, the Vay-ner Barolo 2000 Canubi Vineyard Barolo. Very, very interesting reason why I picked this. Because I love 2000 Barolos. I'm just a big, big fan of Barolo in general. Just love the Nebbiolo grape. 92-point Spectator, $40 bottle of wine, which is very fair for a Barolo of top quality. The Canubi Vineyard is of the top vineyards in all of Piedmont. 2000 is a very interesting vintage. It scored 100 points by the Wine Spectator as a vintage. And so a lot of people feel it's overrated. A lot of people prefer the 2001s that I know in my inner circles. And I tend to agree, but I love the luscious 2000s as well. And I've never had this before, so I'm kind of interested and excited to try it. And let's give it a whirl. Big nose. I'm getting a little bit of a peppercorn nose, a little leather, a little venison, very earthy Barolo. Nice tannins, very firm, a little bit of a truffle and cheese flavor to this wine. Earthy, dry, but disjointed and awkward. 92-point Spectator, very high for this wine, in my opinion. Two and a half hours of breathing, double decanted all these back in kind of thing. Not feeling it. 88 points. Just feel it's a little disjointed, a little bit lighter than liked. The alcohol is shooting through very heavy. There is some cherry flavors. It's very old world, which I enjoy. That's what I'm looking for in my Barolos. But it's not polished nor smooth and awkward. Maybe it's going through a dummy stage, but it's definitely not my cup of tea, and I'm going to say P-A-Z-Z-Z pass. All right. Very interesting wine. St. Clement 2003 Aropus. This is a Bordeaux blend, mainly Cabernet. It's got some Cab Franc and Petit Verdot as well. What makes this very interesting is that Robert Parker scored this wine 91 points. The Wine Spectator rated this wine 84 points. So, since I haven't had it before, I thought maybe I can be the tie-breaking guy, at least for myself, which I am every time I drink wine, and you should be every time you drink wine. Speaking of which, before I get into this wine, I'm having a lot of fun. I have to say, so a lot of cool stuff going on with the bulletin board and everything, and, Wine Library TV community. So you may notice the statement I have up here. So I'm going to get into that little theory real quick. Somebody brings you a horrible bottle of wine and you're having it with friends and you really love them, take the high road. Don't tell them that it sucks and punch them in the face. Just say it's not your cup of tea. Somebody really bothers you at work and, over and over, take the high road. Don't go squealing on him or trying to get them fired. No drama needed. What's another good example of taking the high road? I know. Maybe there's a bulletin board on this cool new, Web 3.0 radical website. Let's call it Wine Library TV for instance. And there's a cool bulletin board or comment section where this whole community is brewing of a lot of cool people. No reason to call each other names or bicker or fight. Take the high road. This is grape juice. If we're going to have fights and war inside of this community, I think that we're in serious trouble. Now, if anybody makes fun of the Jets, there's going to be a whole, my aim has been pretty good lately. Not bad, I hit the mic again. I'm telling you right now, don't talk down on the Jets. By the way, Bears, overrated. I have to get that in there. All right, let's do this. This is a big one. The color is enormous. I think this is going to be a lot of fun. Very, very interesting apricot, dry apricot nose. I really like it on the nose. Getting some cherries as well, some black currant. Really phenomenal tropical nose. Let's call it Skittles again. I'm really high on that. Maybe even Laffy Taffy this time. Yeah, even almost more like a strawberry Laffy Taffy. Those are fun and delicious. Really had to analyze this, seeing that I'm caught in the middle of the two most powerful entities in wine, the Wine Spectator and Robert Parker. And they're both wrong. I'm going to tell you why. The coffee, the black currant, the elegance, the smoothness of the finish. That's right, boys and girls. 92 plus. Parker too low. Spectator in outer space on this one. I don't know how you could rate this an 84-point wine. This is elegant. And for mid-30s, for a California Meritage, I'll be very, very honest with you. I'll stack this up against Insignia blind and bet you I beat you 7 out of 10 times. It's more luscious and more complete than the 03 Insignia. And Dominus for that matter. And you know what? And many others. And as a matter of fact, you big heavyweights out there, Brandon M. and all the other people rolling in the Benzes and Rolls Royce. Get a blind red Meritage tasting in 2003 going. Grab Opus, grab Insignia, grab Dominus, and grab St. Clement or Opus. Blind them up and watch what happens. I have tasted all of those before multiple times. This is my first attempt at 03 or Opus. Pure silk, not too New World. I know what some of you are thinking. Oh, the fruit is overwhelming him or tricking him. Very complete, mid-palate, has even hints of black pepper in the mid-palate, and finishes extremely long and luscious, huge mouthfeel. I like doing these things, settling the score, at least in my own mind. I think they're both wrong. I think, given Parker and the way he likes these kind of wines, I would have thought he would have scored this 93, 94 points. So, Yangara, 2004. Cadenzia. Cadenzia is a name given to a upper tier wine that all the people in McLaren Vale are making each year. It's like this community driven thing that they're doing in McLaren Vale. It's very Web 2.0. Very YouTube, MySpace. I'm very proud of them. But in the real world, what they're doing is they're all making a luxury cuvee. Their, Insignia, their Opus one, their top wine and they're all calling it Cadenzia, but it's from different vineyards around McLaren Vale, and it's usually based around the Grenache grape. This one is a blend of 50% Grenache, 40% Shiraz, and 10% Mourvedre. So, it's a classic GSM blend, and 93 points from the Wine Spectator, all for 21 US bones. So, it seemed real interesting to me. I've never had this wine, and I said, you know what? Let's do it on the show. So, share my experience with you guys. I'm getting a chalky, milky nose, which is interesting. Very tight actually. Would have expected it to be more open at this point. Getting a little bit of cedar. I'm getting a tad of black cherry. And believe it or not, you know what's coming through a little bit for me here? A little bit of pomegranate, which is quite nice. I'm a big fan of that. Big Russian fruit. Grew up eating that all the time. Thanks, Mom, for setting the trend in '85 that became huge in 2005. She's a visionary. Getting some plums and some strawberries. Some nice flavors. It's good, luscious. But you know, we're getting into that little fakeness zone that I don't love. Seems a little bit manufactured for me. Getting some nice licorice aspects. It's a solid bottle of wine. No way 93 points in. By the way, I know where this is going now that I've tasted all this. I adore the Wine Spectator for what they are. I don't agree with them all the time. I don't agree with Parker all the time. I don't agree with anybody all the time except myself. So I know this is turning out to be a little bit on that angle, but please keep in mind I think they score plenty of things, probably 80-90% of their wines I agree with in the same range. This one I don't. 93 points is very high for me on this wine. I'm going to go 89 points. Once again, it's that fake fruit that bothers me. I hate when wine tastes manufactured or as a science project, where all the flavors kind of... Where that happens is, it's not that it's big and luscious and fruity, it's that the flavors feel artificial. And I guess the only way I can say, and I've said it once before, I think on the show, and I say it all the time in real life, there's a different taste between sugar, pure sugar, or pure brown sugar, and Splenda, or, you know, or Total, or whatever, is that even a thing? Or Equal. Thanks, Eric. You know, so that's the difference. That's those subtleties I feel when, you know, or we were talking about apple cider the other day. There's the difference between the fresh squeezed stuff and the unfiltered stuff and the stuff that you sometimes get in the supermarket. So I think you know what I mean. I think a lot of people can equate to that, and that's what this wine's doing. It's going too much to that artificial aspect. It's a nice wine, 89 points, $21. I mean, that's a pass when it comes to QPR. So, you know, a little bit disappointing today, actually. You know, my choice. I get to have fun, and 2 of the 3 wines are passes. All right, questions. E says, great episode. Is 97 the current vintage of Moussard, and will it get better with time? E, yes and yes. Jim says, what did you catch? Jim was referring to the fishing outing. Jim, I caught a huge, I mean massive, pie of humble. A big humble pie. I came in last place. My dad caught the biggest fish. Jeff caught 2 big blues. Bobby, who's never fished before, caught a big blue and like 17 of these porgies or whatever they call them. I caught 4 porgies. 2 we had to throw back because they look like goldfish. And, you know, what did I catch? I caught good memories with people I love. That's what I caught. Joe Swirl says, Gary, how's business? Joe, who cares? Jets are playing Sunday. Everybody I love is healthy. This is Gary Vaynerchuk. You and a little bit of me are changing the wine world.